Hi, everyone. It's Sandy Holterhouse, your Rec Center dietitian, and thank you for joining me for episode 2. We are exploring future 50 foods, so foods that can help sustain us as our planet grows in population from about 8 billion people to, in 2050, about 10 billion people. So what kind of foods can help keep us all nourished and healthy? And we're going to be looking at those. So last week we covered cereals and grains, and this week we will be covering beans, legumes, and sprouts. So the 50 future foods were chosen and selected using criteria that were established by NOR, a German food and beverage brand, in partnership with the World Wildlife Foundation and the Center for Public Health Nutrition. And what they were looking for are foods that could help keep us fed and healthy for a number of years. And I'll go through the criteria here on the next page. They were chosen because they were plant-based and affordable. And again, nothing against animal foods, but plant foods do take less water, less land to grow feed for. You don't need to feed them. So with animals, we do have to use some of our land to grow feed for them. So much more affordable in price of water. The foods are also nutrient dense. They increase 15 key nutrients and decrease saturated fat, sodium, and added sugar in our diets. They were chosen because they have a low environmental impact. So low greenhouse gas emissions and land use. So meaning that the land can be used multiple times to grow the crop over and over, or it has a higher yield due to not being susceptible to pests and predators, or it also may be that the crop can be grown in water or waterlogged soils or in desert conditions. The foods also had to be acceptable for culture and flavor. So they looked at the foods where they were used in the different areas around the world, and were they accepted by the population? Could they be used to flavor other foods? And also, could these foods be translated from that climate to other climates and be used by other populations as well? They also needed to deliver nutrients from diverse food groups. And so carbohydrates from our grains and cereals, the proteins from the beans and legumes, and also the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants from our vegetable foods. So we'll get started here with beans, legumes, and sprouts. So just kind of for some information here in general, a legume refers to any plant in the Fabaceae family composed of leaves, stems, or pods. Beans, lentils, and peas are legumes, but they are actually the edible seed of the plant. So clockwise from right, we have fava beans. We have black turtle beans. We have our bambara beans. So some of these foods you may not have heard of before. I wasn't familiar with them either. Cowpeas and lentils. So fava beans are also known as broad beans. When they flower, they attract honeybees, which are vital pollinators. The fava beans are eaten young in the pod or removed from the pod and added to soups, salads, and stews to increase protein. I often think of these as lima beans. Black turtle beans or black beans are a superfood due to high protein and fiber content, particularly popular in Latin American cooking, where they can be substituted for ground beef or seasoned and added to rice dishes. Bambara beans are also known as bambara groundnuts. They're an important legume in Africa. It is eaten like a nut and can grow in compromised and highly acidic soils. Considered a complete food due to its carbohydrate, amino acid, and fatty acid profile. Moving on to the cowpeas, they are native to Africa, but are now grown in warm regions around the world and are drought tolerant. The peas are rich in the nutrients folate and magnesium. Lentils, up there at top left, are originally from North Africa and Asia. A cousin to the pea, lentils require little water to grow and have a low carbon footprint. Lentils are commonly used in soups, curries, and stews, and lentils can be cooked in broth or water for 15 to 20 minutes, so they do not require an extended soaking time, such as many of the dried beans require. Also, just a side note on lentils, how you tell a lentil from a split pea is a lentil is more in the shape of a disc. So it's going to have a more of a kind of oval curvature to it. Whereas if you split a pea in half, you will still have that round shape to the pea. So moving on, I have a few more beans here listed. We have the marama beans up at the top there, mung beans, and one we probably commonly know here in Iowa is soybeans there at the bottom. Marama beans are native to the Kalahari Desert in southern Africa and can survive harsh conditions. These beans are now being cultivated in Australia and the US and are valued for their oil, ability to be cooked, used as ground flour, or made into a milk drink. Mung beans are originally from Southeast Asia. In cooking, they can absorb surrounding flavors and are valued for their protein and B vitamins. Soybeans are high in protein and have become the most widely grown legume across the globe. Soy is packed with vitamins and minerals and is versatile. It's being used as edamame, or the immature green bean, or made into tofu, soy milk, tempeh, and miso. So again, we'll feature a recipe here, adzuki bean soup. This is the location. You'll find it on my Pinterest page, hooked to my Pinterest page. My Pinterest page will also be available on the next page, or you can pick up copies of it at the rec center. Adzuki beans are popular in Japan and other parts of Asia. The beans are very drought tolerant and high yielding. Adzuki beans are high in fiber, protein, antioxidants, and rich in potassium and B vitamins. The adzuki bean soup I have featured here contains the bean, garlic, ginger, and onions with tomato paste, lemon juice, and olive oil, seasoned with salt and pepper, paprika, and warmed with the Indian spices of garam masala. So we'll go on here with our sprouts. I've got 3 sprouts that were included in the 50 future foods list. Here we have, we're showing sprouted kidney beans and sprouted garbanzo beans or chickpeas. So sprouting kidney beans skyrockets the nutritional value by 3 times. You can find sprouting directions for each type of bean online. Generally, it involves soaking the bean overnight and then putting it into a lightly covered jar or container, and then you drain off the water, and then you'll keep the bean wet for maybe up to 4 to 5 days while it's sprouting. So you'll dampen it, pour the water off, and just keep it in that damp state so that the sprouts can grow. The sprouting process makes the dried bean edible and nutritious, and the sprouted bean can be added to many recipes, either raw or cooked. Chickpeas are popular in Middle Eastern dishes. Sprouting chickpeas makes them more nutritious and crunchier. You can add sprouted chickpeas to soups, stews, stir fries, salads, serve as a side dish, or make into a nuttier tasting hummus. So our recipe here is the turkey avocado sandwich with alfalfa sprouts. Again, there's the link from my Pinterest page. Alfalfa is a plant in the legume family. It is believed to be originally cultivated in Iran and used as animal feed. Alfalfa, when sprouted, has gained the attention of food enthusiasts for its high nutrient properties. The sprouts can be used in a variety of dishes, from salads, stir fries, pad thai, soups, and sandwiches. This turkey avocado sandwich is loaded with slow roasted turkey, avocado, sprouts, and greens, and seasoned with mayonnaise, lime, sriracha, and oil. Since sprouts are generally eaten raw and grown in damp, warm conditions, the same conditions in which E. coli and salmonella thrive, it is recommended that anyone that is immunocompromised not eat sprouts raw. This includes children, pregnant women, patients undergoing chemotherapy, and older adults. So just an aside on that, a little bit of information. Again, you can find recipes for all of these 50 future foods out on my Pinterest page under the Future 50 Foods tab. My Pinterest page is called Exploring Healthy Foods and Diets. And I want to thank you for joining me for episode 2. In episode 3, we will cover vegetables and cacti.